Now, our next guest of the night needs no introduction. It's Alim Kamara.
Yeah. I once heard a man say, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started in order to be great.
Good evening, Assalamu alaikum. Alim Kamara. That line obviously had an impact on you, didn't it? Because our researchers are telling us that you heard somebody say that once, and obviously you're using it there. It's quite a profound line, isn't it? You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started if you're going to be great.
To be great. That's right. That's right. So in terms of starting A Scholars, the charity, it was I didn't know nothing about setting a charity up. It was just I had the idea that I want to support back home, and so called a couple of friends up. And we just got to it and started doing what we could on the best we knew how, and then we've learned along the way as well.
So this is, of course, a charity that raises funds for Sierra Leone.
That's right.
Because the last time you came, when we were talking more about your music and things like that, and this is more about now your experience of going to Sierra Leone and doing some work. Tell us a bit more about that.
So that's right. So as a rapper, we tend to talk a lot about what's going on in the community. And at some point you say to yourself, well, you've got to take action for what you're speaking about. And so what we do is we travel over and we pay school fees and we supply children with educational material as well. And 2 young people who we'd met in the previous year, we supported them because one of them had dropped out of school, and they called us up in the summer and said, we passed. The boy, he came first in his class.
How did you feel, man?
Oh, I feel
that
great.
must have been something.
It is something. So we support 2 schools, SLMB, Sierra Leone Muslim Brotherhood, and RC, Roman Catholic School. And this year we sponsored 1,000 children.
And is that important to you? Because it's something that is often, people look at the Muslim community and say, well, you are very generous, we know that, but you're always giving to Muslim charities. Was it important to you to make that statement, to say, look, this charity is not just going to Muslims, it's going to everybody?
Well, when we were doing the research and we found out that there were the 2 schools that were both of different faith, we were like, that's a bonus, because then it's a thing of, look, it's about the children. It's about going and supporting. So yeah, definitely plays an important part.
Absolutely.
And what was it about education specifically that attracted you to this, and young children?
Well, I do work over here, so I go into schools delivering motivational seminars, doing storytelling over here, and seeing the impact that I was having over here, I was like, I need to do something back home, or somebody needs to do something back home. And a lot of the time they say, when you're looking at a problem, you're often part of the solution. So that's what got me.
And of course, education is that spark of education. It's that moment that can be the inspiration that can change your life. And I want to throw that to our guests. I don't want to put you on the spot too much over there. But as an astronomer, was there that moment of inspiration for you where somebody said to you, "Did you know X, Y, Z?" You went, "Wow, that's blown my mind," and then you were hooked on that education.
Yeah, it was for me when I was growing up. It was Halley's Comet, 1984.
I remember that.
When that came round and. It was in the sky, and I remember going to Greenwich Observatory then and going to see the displays there. They had an exhibition on this, and I was just blown away by the pictures of this kind of, this shining ball floating through space, and that's what did it for me. But I mean, so many people have been inspired by Apollo 11, and going back to Rosetta. I mean, this thing really is. It's an inspirational tool for so many people.
It's probably inspiring lots of children right now to get into space exploration.
Yeah, it would be.
And Dr. Meadows, is education important? Does it put you to sleep?
One of the most interesting aspects about sleep and education is the fact that we now know that in the last 30 years, the amount of sleep that children are getting is over an hour less.
Because of what? PlayStation and iPads and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly, and that's having a fundamental impact on their ability to learn, because when all of us sleep, the brain, it processes everything. And so in order to be brilliant and to, for the kids to pass their exams, you need to sleep. So if there is anyone out who's cramming for an exam, don't cram in the night, get a good night's sleep, and you'll remember everything.
Yeah, well, I hope my kids are listening to that, because they've got too much technology. I tell you, I mean, look, we over here, we have so much technology, and we were talking to the doctor there about people, falling asleep, watching their technology. very different picture over there in Sierra Leone. I mean, how stark is the contrast? You know, when you see the kids there and you see the kids here, how much do they value that opportunity to have an education?
Oh, very much. They value it very much. I mean, when we went over and we said that we were going to be looking after them and supporting them, we said to them, when we come back to support you, you need to make sure that you're doing even better than before. And when we went over, lo and behold, they were.
They were.
So that just showed that there's a hunger for education. And these are children, sometimes they're studying under candlelight, you know. And so now we're saying to ourselves, well, if they're ready to put in the work, the harder you work, the harder we'll work. So we can motivate each other.
And coming from a musical background, is there a particular focus of music in this education?
Well,
creativity and expression?
Yeah, so when we go over, we do well-being talks and we do creative writing sessions with the young people as well. And on that actual clip, there's actually a young boy who's rapping, so it's really cool. So it enables the connection to happen as well.
Excellent. Well, look, thank you very much. We're going to find out a little bit more later on how we can get in touch, how we can follow that fantastic work. But now we've got to move on.
That's right. We all know that...